my god. Say one of the most important parts of your makeup routine is your skin prep. I'm gonna go in with some Vanna Cream lotion, hyaluronic acid serum from Good Molecules. It's just really gonna make sure that my base underneath all my makeup is super hydrated. I do not use a primer anymore. I just think that it's kind of a waste of money. Let me know if that's a hot take or not. A little bit of sunscreen to bring it down the neck as well. Sunscreen that I used is the Beauty of Joseon Daily Reef sunscreen. I'm going to start with a skin tint all over just to make my skin tone even. I'm using the e.l.f. Halo Glow. I'm not going to go in with a crazy amount. I go in with even less when I'm paler just so I don't look like I have a peanut butter face. A big face brush to spread this around. Say bronzer in the shade Swim. Place mine a little bit high right here, just like right above the hollow of my face. This was a dual-ended e.l.f. brush, but I broke it. A lot of it has to do more so with the technique and the placement rather than products themselves. If you have bad technique but great products, that's not really going to do anything for you because you don't know what to do with said products. I tend to put my bronzer and my blush on before my concealer because if I make any mistakes with it, then I can go back in with concealer and cover them up. A Rare Beauty blush in the shade Virtue. I'm just gonna do a dot on each cheek and use the excess on my nose. I use mainly all brushes during my makeup routine, and I actually had one of my friends ask me about why. I feel like a makeup brush gives me way more control over the placement of everything. The amount of product that gets soaked into a beauty blender is absolutely absurd. I recently switched to the L'Oreal True Match concealer because my next one was creasing really badly. Going down here under my nose, on my chin, and then on my forehead. I used to use my face brush for this, but then I just like wasn't looking quite right, so I switched brushes. Really blending that into where you want it to go. I always set my cream and liquid products before I go in with any sort of powder product. For brows, I'm going to use the Super Lock by Maybelline and the NYX brow pencil in the shade Brunette. A spoolie on the end so I can straighten out my brows. Love NYX, and I used to use the little clear pink brow glue. Felt like recently it hasn't been holding my brows the way that I want it to. Using a brow gel on top of a brow pencil darkens them up a little bit anyways. Don't need as much brow product. I ran out of my other bronzer, so I'm going in with the NYX Buttermelt bronzer shade BMB04. Again, using the other end of that e.l.f. brush. Dab a little bit of that excess on both sides. You can see that really helps brighten up those spots with that bronzer. I also kind of go over my eyes with this. That's kind of acts as my eyeshadow. This with a little bit of a finer brush. This is going to help define where we put that liquid a little bit better. And here is the other side of that bronzer palette. I've had this literally for forever. I do not know what it is. I've always wanted to try the Huda Beauty setting powder. However, I have not been able to. I'm going to go in with my pink Morphe powder. The pink powder really helps brighten everything up. You can always go in with powder all over your face. However, I like to keep especially the high points on my cheeks a little bit more glowy. Favorite part's highlighter. I've been using the same highlighter for literally like 4 or 5 years and it still has not hit pan yet. The Wet n Wild highlighter and blush duo, both pretty sparkly, so I don't really use this blush very often. Do a tiny bit on my nose. I still love doing a little inner corner. It just helps to kind of brighten up the area by my eyes. Small brush and just highlighting my cheekbones. Love to do right by that brow bone. For eyeshadow, I am no expert and I'm not very good at it, and you can't really even see it on my eyes super well. This Sorry little eyeshadow palette, more of like a nude sparkly shade. My lip stain, this is the NYX Lip Ivy lip stain. Really love this product. I use it every single time that I go out. Start by doing this on the outsides of my lips just as kind of like a lip liner. While I start my lashes, I'm gonna let this dry a little bit before I start rubbing it in at all. Usually I do my lashes off camera, but for the sake of the video, I'm gonna try my best. Going with a spoolie on my lashes just to make sure they're all separated. I always use a small mirror so I can see exactly where my lash curler is going. Super close to the root, and I'm curling there first. And to also pinch down the lashes so they're not sticking straight up. If I don't like it, I'll usually go back in for a second or even a third curl, one with a drier mascara or just like an older one. So I have the exact same tube. I have 2 of them. This is the Cleo Kill Superproof Mascara Long Curler, and as you can see, the wand is a little bit curved to help those lashes really stay up. Mostly the base, kind of leaving the tips alone for now because we're going to go in with several layers of mascara. Wet slash newer mascara tube. I'm focusing more on the whole lash, still more on that base though. This is coat 3. If your lashes are still clumping together by this point, you can also take one of these lash combs and just go in and separate some of those lashes. In between coats, I will also go in with eyeliner if that's what I'm choosing to do for the day. A little bit from about the middle of my eye to the end, just to really accentuate my eyes and make them pop a little bit more. This is the Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil in the shade 2 Hot Chocolate. This is coat 4. I'm going to go back in with a little blush. This is the part where you're going to want to go back in with any powder products that you think are lacking a little bit. You want to do some touch-ups. So you are all complete. Of course, we have to set with setting spray again. I use the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. So love the clear Milani bottle. I usually use at school, but I'm at home right now. This is the final makeup look. I'm going to come back when I take my hair out as well and give you a final look reveal. Wow, this looks absolutely perfect. I hope everybody enjoys celebrating the holiday with their family and friends, and I hope you get some bomb ass pictures with your new makeup and hair routine.